decent low-level spells too. Spiritual weapon. Uh,
Exactly what I told Derek was that I'm of the opinion it's going to mean shit. It's actually going to be a net negative low levels. Because, realistically speaking, you very rarely run out of spells in low levels. At higher levels, while your low level spells are still useful, some of them, the ability to be able to spam 8th, 9th, and 10th level spells would be huge.
Yeah, it would take any other character and make them completely useless.
No, not really, because you'd still have to remember that wizards don't have shit for health or defenses.
Yeah.
And defenses, health. Depends on.
well, and again, I mean, you're still doing an active roll too. You're still targeting, either the AC or words. One of the saves. So it's not like, a major.
It's 3.5 all over again. Early levels, wizards and sorcerers and magic users are going to be use impaired, except for clerics who are going to get a major buff no matter what level they're at. At high levels, that's when casters are going to shine. It brings back that dynamic.
Guessing heals didn't just be like they are now. They just go off. They wouldn't, attack anything. Unless you're attacking someone like a vampire.
Pretty much. So a cleric will be able to just spam heal spells after every battle.
Unless a miscast or major miscast, things like that. But you also, you brought up a very good point there, and I gotta actually write something into it because I forgot about one specific type, or not necessarily specific type of spell, but I did not account, and this is why I like talking to y'all, and I already got a workaround for it. But spells that do not actually target anybody, such as heal, unless it's targeting undead, or Magnificent Mansion, or something like that, where there's not an actual. So I'm gonna have to write that into it. So I forgot that subset of spells right there.
You miscast the mansion. You summon it on one of your friends.
That would suck.
I harvest their ruby slippers.
Especially if it's the witch.
See, but this is where me, like, I have always played the fuck out of Warhammer and other D100 systems and World of Darkness, where Paradox is basically the same thing. You had ways to mitigate Paradox in World of Darkness. I remember this, like, Dan knocked himself out by Paradox. He only had like 2 dice that he had to roll. No, it was 1 dice. It was 1 dice. And they were going against this big baddie. And he had 1 Paradox dice. And he rolled fucking 4 10s and a non-success. Because in World of Darkness, whenever you roll a 10, you roll again. It counts as a success. You get to roll again to see if you get another success. He rolled 4 fucking 10s. And then it was like a 6 or a 5 or something like that. And he's like, fuck it, I'm taking his bashing damage. And he knocked himself out. It was... But,
Who's the summoning Satan? You're welcome.
Yeah.
That magic item, I want it. I want it for a gift.
Bob. All right, let's see. This is Bob. Bob is a bag of holding. All right, so Dan, I can give you Bob because there's literally a magic item in Pathfinder 2nd Edition that does the same thing.
I
It
don't
is-
want Bob. I want to give Bob to someone.
Well, you can get Bob and give it to somebody because
Then
they
I'm
have
gonna
this.
curse it, so it's linked to that person forever.
It is a curse item, and you can use like transfer curse and things like that. Or don't open it. You identify it as a cursed item. You don't open it, and then you give it to somebody. And whenever they roll, or whenever they try to retrieve something from the bag of holding, quote unquote bag of holding, they have to make a flat check. It's like a DC 10. So they just roll D20. So 50% of the time they're gonna pull out an angry fucking squirrel or weasel or fucking badger.
Can you make a list? Because that isn't what you're pulling out in this bag on the top end.
For Griffin, giant rat, boar, cow, giant frog, dire wolf, ape, black bear, elephant, swarm of wasps, crocodile. Your highest level entity right there is the elephant.
Owlbear.
Pretty sure elephant is actually higher level than owlbear.
I thought owlbear was like 8 or 9. Elephant is 7.
Let's see real quick. Owlbear is challenge rating 3.
Oh, never mind. Owlbear's way weaker than I thought.
I'm pretty sure you're not going to get your little baby owlbear back.
Yeah.
And the elephant is challenge rating 4. See, I know my D&D 5th edition shit. So yeah, I mean, there's some dangerous animals on that too. I find it funny. I was like, they have a magic item like that right now. Don't be like Bob. Bob's an arsehole. All right, who wants to do a recap? Let's get this going. As I said, and the message I sent to y'all on Skype, y'all actually have a long period of downtime as the enemy is preparing their next moves.
Could you shift us to the main map?
Yes, I can. Y'all have 3 months of downtime. There are 2 events that happen, but they're more RP events than anything, unless y'all want to poke a bear with the giant stick. Because of what Solon did with the whole Vigir and Vigar thing, their plans up in the north, while their forces are still there, and they are deadly, especially if you get swarmed by them, have completely set that whole area in disarray. This big bad ritual is done with, and I think it's far more. Even though the Seed and the Steed defeated Orcus, this is every bit as epic as that.
I mean, Dan did trick a trickster god, so
Yeah, no. So I mean, that's that. So y'all have bought some much needed time of, and y'all are at a high enough level. I'm not going to care about random encounters and things like that with the wildlife and some of the low-level factions. There are going to be more if you come across them, and if you're like, oh, hey, I want to hunt a T-Rex, you can hunt a T-Rex if you want to. But in game terms, y'all have roughly about 3 months before the enemy is active once more.
Okay. So my proposal.
But before we start this, somebody do the recap.
I think the only thing that really happened last session is we what was it? We searched for treasure and stuff, and then then the Vigir thing happened, where Solon ended up completing the last task of making him laugh, which caused Solon's deal with his father to trigger, which caused Vigir and his brother Vigar to change places, and made Vigir extremely happy to be out-tricked by someone.
Yes, it did.
And then, let's see, it stopped the ritual from happening with Vigar, so he's not becoming joined with a daemon anymore. After that, we kept searching for stuff. We had to do Iron's thing, but we were, trying to get a little bit stronger so we could take on the Grim Reaper. Went and did.
You all don't, I'm gonna interrupt you there for 1 second, because it's something that won't transpire anymore in this campaign, because they don't have the resources nor the time to begin that ritual again. Especially with so many moving pieces now set against them. Vigar wasn't being possessed by just a daemon. A shard of the adversary was being put into him to merge with him. Which is far more devastating.
Yeah. But anyways, I believe one of the bigger things that we did preparing, other than grabbing items, playing around, was to go find the pieces of the vault and try combining them, which was able to combine the power source into the sword, which apparently is how that's supposed to be. And then was able to teleport the other piece, so that they're both in, I think it's T5 or T25. So they're both there, but it's going to take a month to get them back together. And then I think there was a couple more items that we got after that. And then we went and did the Grim Reaper fight, which for a bit there, it looked like it was going to be hairy, but
Fucking
those blessings, dude.
way.
It's not about what you do on camera. It's about what you do off camera.
It really is.
Granted, any other campaign, those blessings would be so hard to proc.
Zanik, I still need you to send me those.
You wouldn't have that money just to do nothing with.
Yeah, well.
To be fair, as a spellcaster, you almost always have a shit ton of money lying around for no real purpose until you feel
it's either being saved to craft magical craft, or saved because money is its own superpower, as Dan has shown many times in our various campaigns.
Yeah, well, no one will let him play Batman and Bruce Wayne, so.
Motherfucker, he can play Batman.
To be fair, does he ever need to?
Motherfucker, he has played Batman or a Batman, Iron Man-esque character flawlessly in a number of our World of Darkness campaigns.
I take pride in that.
Yes, yes.
And it's almost always Batman. I'm not some pussy-ass, person in a suit of armor. I go full-on gun and just stick with it.
I put him on the same level for the simple fact Iron Man did something Batman has not done. And it could be because he's egotistical, or he has bigger balls and he told the world that he is Iron Man. Just saying. Person that hides in the shadows, that won't even admit who he is.
Batman has done something that Iron Man has never done. Batman quit the GLA and told them to go fuck themselves.
Fair. I like them both. Batman tends to hedge out for me, as he is one of DC's only characters I actually really like.
And the best part about that particular walkout was he was at fault. It was one of those things where you're wrong, but you pretend like you're upset about what everyone else is saying, and then walk out, to hold on to the pride at the same time, making everyone else feel like they were the victim of the situation.
Going back to the recap, the big thing that helped you all was definitely Solin's imprisonment that he got. I believe that was a blessing from Morden.
Yep.
Yeah, that really fucking changed things up. The Grim Reaper, funny enough, Dan, in the core rule or the first bestiary that has the Grim Reaper in it, and I modified his level to be more appropriate for this campaign because we're not playing Inglorian or whatever the Paizo setting is. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's cool. I like the system, not a fan of the setting. And I know a lot of people are, but it's not my thing. So, I changed his level to appropriate of what he should have been in this campaign setting. And funny enough, in the bestiary, they have him with the fucking high athletics. They have the after, because we play without levels. For anybody who doesn't know that, we play with proficiency without levels. Subtracting his level, he still had a plus 17 to his athletics stat. I rolled absolutely fucking shitty every time. The first roll was the closest. It was 1 point off from matching your DC. But because he failed, it increased the DC by 2. And then I rolled I rolled like a 5. So I got a total, on the next roll, I got a total of a 22. And I'm like, well, fuck. And then it just kept going, and then I got a natural 1, and I'm like, nope, it's fucked.
Now, realistically speaking, I put a lot into. I have a really high craft, and that's what sets the DC for that particular ability.
Yes.
My craft, basically, with his 17 in athletics, he has to beat up my 19 plus 19 in craft. So it's a matter of he has a -2 handicap, and then it's a roll off.
Yeah.
Whoever rolls higher.
No, it was god awful. I like things like that though. Long story short, for the recap, though, just take over. You all managed to beat him. There was some close calls. He was wrecking your all's face in pretty good. Yeah, poor Rax is over there. And then not being able to hit worth a damn. It was a tough fight. Y'all became victorious. Chiron appeared after the enemies appeared to try to gank y'all. Gavin was unsuccessful in claiming the soul of the Grim Reaper.
I was one roll off.
And the soul is now in the hands of the adversary where they want it to be.
I have to AFK for a second.
Kron raised the sunken island to the water level, and now you can see the horizon and all that. And so that was a brutal tough fight. When Dan gets back, we will pick up. Now, while he's AFK and I have y'all here, our next campaign is going to diverge a lot from how I've run a lot of my games, where it's very narrative heavy and everything is very player characters are very overpowered. I'm going back to my roots of dark fantasy, and next games, guys, are going to be rough. They tactics, doing various different things, utilizing resources and whatnot are going to be far more important. As I'm definitely getting back to my roots of my old Warhammer days, and Call of Cthulhu, World of Darkness, where a stray bullet can fucking end your entire character. Legends of the Five Rings. Charlie knows how dangerous that system is.
I fucking love that system.
So when we do come back, and there isn't, then that's not going to say narrative isn't going to play a role and whatnot, but it is going to be, like I said, I'm going back to my roots of dark fantasy, low tier elements, I should say. I'm a huge fan of Warhammer. I'm a huge fan of Conan. Robert Reed Howard is my favorite author. H.P. Lovecraft and whatnot. And yeah, I feel like I've strayed away from that in, the last few years of us gaming. And I've been trying to figure out what, is kind of, bringing gaming down for me. And it's because I've stepped out of the elements that I really, really enjoy, both as somebody who likes to write and read. So just prepare for next campaign. Because if you just stand there and get whacked by the enemy without using tactics and you drop, not my fault. Yeah, don't stand in the fire. Minus 50 DKP.
What if I scream Leroy Jenkins as I run through the fire?
Leroy Jenkins! Oh, man, I love that.
Then me, as your healer, will say no.
So, and then, because we are doing a couple things different in the next campaign, I'm being a little bit more restrictive than I normally am. But, so we got a healer. We do need a good, solid frontliner. And we need a good, solid support. We're going to stick with Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I've tried to convince myself to go to 5th Edition. And while it is a fun system, it lacks...
Pathfinder has come out with what you want.
Yes, it really has. It has come out with a modular rule set that is easy to homebrew shit or change shit up on the fly or just take things out you don't like and put things in you like. The whole, like, they have power levels in Pathfinder 2nd. By default, it is power level. You're playing a Herculean type character. After you grow so strong, you can send, 1,000 fucking level 1 kobolds at a level 10, and that level 10 is just going to be like, hey, and just kill them all. But it is modular and very easy to adjust everything that, that was one of my biggest concerns of, trying out Pathfinder 2nd Edition was that I don't like power levels. I don't like Herculean type characters. I don't, I like Aragorn and Legolas and Conan and all these people who are ultimate, badasses, but ultimately you get felled by a fucking knife in the back. Yes. So that it just offers those things, and that you're able to just very, very, like me. I'm a masochist, so I went ahead and just remade all the monsters and changed all their stats. All like almost 1,000 monsters, changed it without level proficiency. But realistically, you don't even need to do that. You make a roll, you minus their level from the roll, and there you go. But I'm a masochist, and I manually changed everything. Also, and this is for you all, because you all get a free copy of it once I'm done with it, but they are starting up the Pathfinder, basically the Pathfinder's DM Guild, like Wizards of the Coast has for 5th Edition. Pathfinder's starting theirs up on October 13th. I am releasing some products on it. One of them I will be handing out to y'all for free because I love you all and you all deal with my shenanigans and listen to me and indulge me on some of my eccentric ideas and things like that. It is a revision of the spells, and what I mean by that, I have painstakingly, and I'm almost done with it. I'm hoping to have it done by October 13th so I can just throw it up there when it goes live. adding various action costs for each spell. It's been painstaking, but I really think Paizo missed an opportunity by not making all spells a variable cost. Heal and harm are perfect examples of how awesome that system really is. But there's only like a small handful of spells. That have a variant cost. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing. And once I'm done with that, and once I edit it and proofread it and all that, I will be giving you all a free copy, of course, because I love you all very much. And we will be using that in our future games as well once it is finished. Now, it's not like super like, oh my god, spells are overly more powerful. Variant cost, following the example of heal, increases your range, add a splash effect here and there and whatnot. But it opens up the action economy for spellcasters where they're not lagging so behind compared to martial characters. But with that said, it is now 7:30. So let's actually get into playing. Dan, you were originally going to say something before I interrupted you like an asshole to do the recap.
I'm used to it. Anyways.
I'm sorry, man.
My suggestion is it would literally take, because we have 9 free spots to survey left, brings the total down from 41 to 32. 6 a day, so literally it would be 6 days after that, or 6 days from our total, and we could just knock this island out of the park and be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
So my suggestion is I'll just go down the list and follow the path of call outs, and then we'll call out the location, Derek. And we can narratively go from there depending on the site.
All right.
Now,
the biggest area that is going to be a little hard for you to fully investigate is still the northeast, because the Annulian forces and Daemon forces are still there.
Yeah, but everything's been picked up there.
Yeah.
So it's basically there's one keep somewhere in there that houses all the art. Any magic items that were found there.
Yeah.
But I mean, Dan, if we wanna like clear that area of things, like we could. Or not.
Or we just let the cat and spider know that their hunting grounds are free game now because they don't have to worry about the Daemon Lord coming down.
All right. Let's go ahead and do this, and let's get it out of the way. We never got together between last session and this session to take care of what y'all would have explored during that bit. I wanted to get that death fight out of the way so it can free up some much-needed time for your characters to do and pursue things they want to do outside of the impending doom.
Okay. P13 it is. I'll pull up the... Give me a second, I have to pull up the right form. There is supposed to be demon armor here.
Yes. No other notes, just demon armor?
Demon armor is all it says.
Alright. And that is just one of the places that have random loot. Demon armor is in fact an item that you can get in the compendium. There's a level 13. Divine Evil Necromancy. Ooh.
Josh, are you gonna keep tracking inventory?
Yeah, I'll add it to the loot.
Sweet.
Demon armor is one of those things. If you're not an evil character, either sell it or disenchant it for raw components.
Yeah, fair. 015, Staff of the Magi.
All right. 015, you said?
Yes.
All right. 015. 015 is just, there's an abundance of resources there and whatnot, but again, that's not really important as we gave up on that aspect of the campaign. After some searching and using your various techniques, you do find your Staff of the Magi. It is an item that you can get in the compendium. Does it say if it's the greater or just the normal?
Just
I
the
can
Staff
bring it
of the Magi. Is all it says.
That's because I was thinking of a different staff. Staff of the Magi only has one level.
Okay.
One question before I go forward. Rambo, did you take the Staff of the Magi that was in here?
Yep, the first one I did.
Okay,
just
then I don't have
forgot
to
to-
edit anything.
Yeah.
There's just
Dual
another one
wield
there.
Staff of the Magi.
Dual wield.
Hey, honestly, there's a mythic feat in there to make any item you imbue a mythic, and if you do it for a staff, you automatically get 10 free points for it
Oh, that's
every
nice.
day on top of your level.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
And as a staff wizard, you can, if I really, really wanted to, I could make it so that way the staff has 10, and we're currently 15, 25 plus 16 technically, so 31 points into the staff to burn for the day.
It was a ridiculous amount.
I like it. I like it.
M17 is a batch of crystal trees.
All right, let me bring my notes up on that one right there.
Don't you love it when you have the cheat sheet?
Yes. All right. So I will need either an Arcana or an Occult roll for this right here.
I'll do an Arcana.
I'll do an occult.
Can anybody and everybody roll?
You're more than welcome to. As you all come down here, again, we're doing very brief on this, so you can get as much done as you want to.
Derek can finally get off this island.
I don't have much.
Let's be realistic. I've given up on you all going to the other islands altogether. The Fire Islands fucking lost as all hell, but
Is it? Is it really?
it's pretty fucked. It's pretty fucked.
Sounds like it's a challenge to be accepted.
Sounds like you need me to clean it up. All right.
Dan with a 33. So this place, these trees resonate with immense creative property. There is a kind of those that aren't trained as, you know, some of you are in the various, you know, magical skills would not be able to pick this up. There is a small kind of rift that emanates in this forest right here and the plane of positive energy.
I need to
33 with 33, you know, the plane of positive energy is, it's, you know, has many different names: Soul Forge, Creations Forge, so forth, so on. That is where the quintessence essence that creates new souls comes from. It is the just raw, unbridled power of creation. One bulk of one of these crystalline trees counts as 5,000 gold worth of crafting material for magical items.
So,
And it speeds up the creation exponentially of creating magical items utilizing material from these crystalline trees.
so a question with these crystalline trees: are there leaves on them, or is it just like kind of like the desert trees that you'd see where it's just the branches? Or
There are leaves on them, but again, they are crystal. They are multicolored too. One of the unique, beautiful things about these is they do kind of reflect the season of the world. Even though that these islands are like this perpetual kind of tropics, other than the northeast where the Nolians have landed and kind of perverted the land to a more icy landscape. These trees reflect the actual seasons of the world and change based on the time of year. They're color reflections.
Can I
Fair
spend
enough.
some time and collect some before we take off?
I inform everyone what these will do, especially Chucky, because you have a brother who's very interested in this.
Once you explain what they are, I'm very interested in what they do.
All right, anybody that wants to collect, you can give me a crafting check. This is going to represent about, because it is crystal, and you do have to harvest them properly, not to damage them, and also not to explode yourself, because you're dealing with the raw energy that seeps in this portion from the positive plane. And because of that's such a high roll right there, you got, Dan, like the innate properties, like if you were to teleport to the positive plane, you'd be constantly being healed and healed and healed. And if you're at full health, you'd be gaining temporary hit points. And if you get double your life in temporary hit points because the hit points stack, you explode.
Shit.
Yeah. So to
Yay for hero
I was
points.
just about to stick up for you because I was going to point out that, Rambo did roll a 32 as well for his identification of Arcana skill.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Thanks for reassessing everything, Rambo, with a massive explosion.
I was going to use my hero point.
Okay, reroll.
So,
Oh, that happens a lot.
fate has decreed it so.
Sam, that was a failure on your end, but it is not a critical failure.
How far does Rambo's character get blown back? And why is his hair white?
Oh my god. That sucks. With the 29, Josh, I'll get to you in a second, Rambo. Go ahead and roll a D6. Add that to your crafting modifier, and then half that, and that's how many bulk you managed to collect safely.
So add a D6 to what?
So roll a d6.
Roll a D6. Okay, now add that to your total crafting modifier.
So 12.
12, so you get 6 bulks of this material.
Okay. So, Derek, before you get to Rambo and his crystalline experience, I am harvesting specifically acorns, saplings, that kind of thing, and I'm going to plant a grove of them in my own garden.
All right.
I'll go ahead and make my craft check. I just wanted to say what I was specifically harvesting.
Okay. All right. Go go ahead and you collect enough acorns and the various different things equal to your crafting modifier.
19.
Yeah, that was a fail. It wasn't a critical failure though. Yeah, you can try again. Y'all can invest however much time you want to. Rambo, you take exactly 207 damage times 2, so 414 damage.
I'd be instant dead.
Does anybody do anything to try to help?
I stabilize him at 1. Reaction. Spare the dying.
You only have a +7 to your crafting? What rank is your crafting? Oh yeah, you're not.
And it's an intelligent skill, so.
What is this ore called? Really?
All right. Now here's an important question. How much health do you have total, Rambo?
171.
171. All right. So as you are about to, die, you see, Solon, he saves you, and then your wounds start to rapidly heal. You're at full health, and your health starts increasing further. What do you do? Dan, you know what? Both you know what's happening here because you did roll 32. I did not see the 32 right here. Because Solon saved you right there, stopped you from taking a mass amount of just raw force energy. It has now pushed it into the other axis where it's actually healing you. And then once you gain double your hit points and temporary hit points, you explode.
Who's playing with styrofoam?
I don't know. Let's stop it. It's distracting because now I want styrofoam. So I can play with it.
Okay.
Can I Can I snap my finger, go into my sanctum, and close the door, see if it stops healing me?
You snap your fingers. You go into your sanctum. You're still being healed.
Even though it's even though it's a different dimension.
The effect is already taking a hold of you. You snap your finger, and you're back in the plane. Araxis, you can speak for yourself. You got a mic.
So what we need to do is start attacking him.
Or just leave for now.
Except for somebody else needs to attack him because I'm gonna miss.
Do you all commit to beating the hell out of your companion so he doesn't gain enough hit points to explode?
He won't gain enough hit points to explode because it deals 400 some damage. Yep. He took the 171.
71.
Back up to full, and then you're double the hit points would mean 340 some. You're not you don't have. There's not enough.
Oh, okay.
There's not enough health.
I did math wrong in my head. So you have a crap ton of temporary hit points then, Rambo. Sorry, I did the math wrong there.
So
right now you are fucking. You feel godly. You are brimming with just an immense amount of life force.
So I have double my health and hit points now, or temporary.
It's what you'd have to figure out what the remainder would be.
Yeah, it would be whatever the remainder is.
How much damage did you deal, Derek?
407.
414.
Okay. And you have 171, so minus that. 243 minus 171 again. You have 72 temporary hit points.
Nice. And those stay with you until you no longer have them. Such as taking damage.
I want some for crafting and whatnot, but feel like Solon had a better idea after I get up and I start looking for things.
Sam, you try to craft again? See, you rolled a nat 1. I'm guessing you use your hero point to reroll?
Yeah.
That's a critical failure right there.
Can I take my own sword in my neck?
People.
You take 320 or 360 damage.
I just wanted one goddamn leaf.
I stabilize her this time.
People. This isn't this is a crystal shop. What the hell?
Some of us just aren't lucky today. That's
So,
all.
Zadok, you said that these trees pulse positive energy. 2 questions. I'm guessing that would that help ward off demons?
No. Demons
No.
aren't composed of negative energy. Demons are composed of anti-energy, like antimatter, is essentially what demons are composed of.
Yeah.
The opposite of antimatter would be astral energy. What Josh has in his vault is.
Yeah. The only thing that maybe do that because the demons that we have gone up against have been
pestilence and death variants usually, and those would be adversely affected by positive energy. War wouldn't give 2 shits about positive energy. It actually might help them.
Famine does not care.
Famine doesn't, and probably the same thing with famine.
The worst one that is definitely detrimental against is pestilence. The undead servants of, the horsemen of death, that would hurt, but the actual demons themselves wouldn't have any kind of real effect against. That is definitely detrimental to pestilence, purifying, and ooh, actually, no. Thinking about that, creation could speed up the growth of diseases and whatnot. So to the demons themselves, no.
Well, you think about it as long as.
So are the ones that we've faced before that positive damage did double damage to them?
This isn't life energy. This isn't nature energy. Nature is what would speed up the growth of disease. Positive is purification. So it would purify disease. It wouldn't heal disease. So yes, this would be very effective against pestilence.
Let me double check your question, Charlie.
Yeah. The same. The other 2 that we up against, the positive energy was doing double damage to him. So I was just taking that thought process.
Well, it did double damage because he crit failed.
So what was this magical wood called?
It's crystalline something.
Crystal trees is all it says in my notes, but
it doesn't have an actual name because it is a strange occurrence where one plane overlaps with another. Daemons, for the most part, are weak against good damage. Good.
Well, that's very vague.
It's an alignment type damage. It's good damage.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
you will damage, good
consider any
damage.
damage I do good damage.
All right. So, is anybody going to help Araxes get a leaf? Huh? Yes, you're stabilized. To help expedite that, we're not going to go through everything crazy because you do have a large amount of hit points. She's been trying. You all see Araxes, who has had a horrible amount of luck lately, trying to get a single leaf and has failed horribly.
Okay, that is a lot of natural ones lately.
Poor kid.
So, how much damage does Chucky take, and why do I have to stabilize him?
He re-rolled. That is not a critical failure.
I back away from the crystal trees.
Here's the funny thing. I was gonna help Rexus get a leaf with that roll.
I'm staying back from this curse realm.
No, it's Araxis' curse.
So do you give her the leaf as everybody who keeps fucking with this is...
You do realize even
I
Dan
grab a
rolled.
flower and then harvest it and hand it over to her.
I accept the pity flower.
I have to literally roll a 1 to fail.
Well, no, it's
yeah.
the DC is 22 to craft or harvest it.
I have to roll less than a 3.
Yep. Well, you don't want to roll 1 because then you'll see what happened. Then you'll join me in my boat.
You have less hit points than him. All right, are y'all moving away from like this? Just
Moving away. I'm already like away.
I wouldn't mind getting some seeds to plant this in my bowl too, just so I could have maybe a small garden in my bowl.
okay.
Being positive energy and being a being of death, I don't think the two really coincide with each other at the moment. So.
All right.
I've seen what it does to alive beings. I don't want to see what it does to me.
I gotta roll a crafting check for that too, or just
Yeah.
nature too. Actually, technically they're both the same.
This is crafting because this isn't inherently. It does natural thing, but it's also a mineral substance. Yeah, you're good. You get enough acorns and whatnot equal to your crafting modifier.
I notate it where it's located, and I'm like, I'll come back when I feel a little more confident. Because today's just not my day.
Apparently not everybody. That was the most ones I've seen in a long time rolled in succession. Dear God. All right, we're on to next, Dan.
M18. It's a never-ending whirlpool.
All right. So, as y'all fly above it, there is in fact a never-ending whirlpool. Creatures avoid it like the plague. Every once in a while, you see some fish, and then get sucked down as it go. Y'all can give me a perception check if you like. Araxes. As y'all are observing this and whatnot, and you see some of the fish and even some of like the wildlife or even logs and whatnot that get sucked down into it, you just notice as you're looking intently, there are massive teeth. Within this whirlpool.
Let's drop a tree down there.
Oh wait, I know what to do here. Do we have any more of those fireball beads?
I was thinking, how cruel would it be to throw the Staff of the Magi down there and let it explode on the teeth?
You're asking something, Raxus?
Is there like one set of giant teeth, or is there like multiples? Like, is it at the top of the whirlpool?
With the 28, no. So with the 28, and you study it for a moment, right? You see about maybe 15 feet of water, right? That it's the layer of water that's doing the whole vortex and whatnot, and then about 15 feet down, you see massive teeth just going, following it. Each tooth looks to be about the size of a man's torso. And there are several layers before you just see darkness from, the depths of it. You can give me a nature roll if that's what you want.
Knowing that my luck has been so bad the last however many in-game days it's been, 3 game sessions for us, could I send, like, not really like a prayer, but like in my own head, ask Io for assistance in what I'm gonna do? Like, try to identify this?
Sure, give me a religion check. You get a +4 from Io to your roll. Yep. So looking at it and whatnot, further and examining it, you see it kind of shift just a little bit. You see a massive eye. The iris is yellow, and the slit for its pupil, there is just this sickly green around it. This is not natural. There is nothing natural about this.
Do I see
I
any?
have true sight. Does that help me in this at all?
No, you see it because you were able to perceive it. You see what it is. There's no illusions or anything like that. It's just that there is a whirlpool that is being formed by what you can guess by this creature constantly sucking in.
I'd let the party know what I see.
Through spirit sight, can I tell where the creature doesn't look like something that should be here? And what realm it's from?
As you're working with the Raxes, you get on the side of Jaffa Mill that Raxes is at, and you're helping each other look at various different things. This is definitely alien. In the regards that while it has an essence, it is not a soul like anything you've seen.
Okay.
As far as what realm that it would belong on, you'd have to cross the veil of the void to get any answers.
I give Solon a look, like asking what he wants to do. This is not something that's supposed to be here.
Are we still against my idea of dropping a tree in there?
No?
A crystal tree?
I mean, I mean, I'm not touching the crystal tree if that's what you're talking about. But if you want to put it down there, that's all good.
We do have a necklace of fireballs.
Look, we have 4 of them. We could each could just get one, and we do them all at the same time. And you can throw the tree down there for extra measure. As I'm sure we didn't use up all the trees. I don't think anyone would have a issue.
You didn't even put a dent in that forest.
Yeah, I don't think we would have an issue.
A couple craters, but no dents.
I think that's an understatement on the craters.
Trying to think of what the... Do we want to risk provoking it?
Is there any creature that you could compare what it looks like?
Right now, you've just seen a mole-like, orifice and a eye.
The size of it that we can tell. How would we compare that against
the diameter? The diameter of the whirlpool is about 80 feet.
Okay.
So that you can kind of extrapolate from that if you like. The water around it is so turbulent because of the whirlpool and whatnot. It's too hard to see any body underneath or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Araxis's high perception check there, I actually managed to see that there is definitely a creature of some kind that's creating this.
Yeah. My spirit or life sense wouldn't detect for me the size of it. Correct? No. Okay.
And again, it's weird. It's almost, it feels off to you because it doesn't have what's traditionally a soul, or it doesn't even have like the same kind of spirit essence from animism and things like that. It is very, you feel something there, but you can't classify it.
Mm-hmm. Still an answer. Gavin's response would probably be, it's not supposed to be here. I'm afraid of what damage could possibly contend with if it stays.
It didn't make a strike. It didn't roll the attack modifier. If you're talking, Dan, we can't hear you.
No, I'm looking at my stuff to see if I can find a decent plan. Oh, I don't know why Vine Strike triggered.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about. It just rolled damage and there was no attack, and I was curious of why you.
I'm not even on that page. My character sheet. We could. The problem is the water is going to provide an excellent, shield for whatever we throw down there.
I got lightning spells.
Is it really hurting anything right now, though?
We don't know. Can I make it so it would be an occult to try to identify what it is, right?
Yes.
I'll give it a shot.
It's definitely an aberration. Does not hail from this reality or universe. Much is unknown about the far realm, the void, whatever you want to call it, depending on what setting you find yourself in.
Oh, I got it.
It is not the same as beholders.
Yeah,
You yourself have experience with beholders and certain type of aberrations. With a 24, you get the idea that it's more Cthulhian based than beholders.
So, telepathy time, and not mine, but someone who's decided to make himself the guardian of the planet against things like this. Insert name I couldn't pronounce when I had, or remember ever. One we just summoned his mother not that long ago.
Do you call him forth?
Yes.
You see Xanathran appear. And at first, again, and you've never seen Xanathran, there is this massive shadow that just encompasses the land. Like all-consuming. You see like tendrils and whatnot like flickering about as you look off to the horizon. And it's just a shadow. And you look around for whatever this massive thing is. And as it begins to descend, it's the size of a baseball.
It looks like a baby beholder.
Yeah, it has eye stalks and everything. Looks like a little baby beholder.
Size of a baseball?
It was claimed by even I can't claim it. That one's 100% Izzy. Izzy has claim on it already. She's tamed him with cookies, and I mean legitimately, because outsiders have no concept of sugar, and so Izzy made a cookie for the first time, and the beholder fell in love with cookies.
Yes.
And she tamed him using cookies.
It's been a long time, my friend.
How's your mom?
Where?
I said how she is. I didn't say she was here.
I was pooped a little. And I'm still unsure if I got a butthole.
Since you're a beholder, wouldn't that be like inking for a squid?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about such matters with you. So, what has brought me here?
You're the guardian of this plane from the far realms.
Yes.
So what's that doing here?
Down.
Oh, it's so cute. Come on out, little guy. And at that, he's like, oh, don't be shy. And you see, like, the ground for, like, miles on end kind of erupt up. Kind of like Tremors, if you've seen the movies where the graboids go through the ground and you just see the earth.
I'm so glad we didn't start throwing explosives down there.
Waiting for someone to throw a person down there like Boba Fett.
for one, it didn't work out well when Boba Fett was thrown there, and two, in Tremors, eventually they learned to spit up the explosives.
I don't care what anybody says. I love the Trimmer movies. They're cheesy. They're fun.
Yep.
I
I've
love
seen
them.
them all.
After
So am I.
it got really, really funny after they evolved to almost like raptor / bird like creatures.
Yep.
The ass blasters.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Trimmers is one of my all-time favorites.
And then the movies got cheesier as time went on. You're like, there's no way it can get cheesier. And
And
the
it
movies
does.
knew they were cheesy.
And
And
it
then
does.
they topped themselves. And this last one, they're like, no way you're going to kill Gomer. No way. And they kill him. I'm like, oh my God, there's nothing these movies won't do.
It did. Somehow the CGI progressively got worse.
It's true. Well, there's an honest question on whether, because the first one actually made money. The rest of them were more direct to DVD. So I have an honest question on that first movie, whether or not those weren't real effects.
Yeah, I'm thinking they did a mixture of puppeteering and whatnot, kind of like Jurassic Park did, and the original Jurassic Parks. A lot of.
I mean, you don't see the graboids all that often. You see them sticking
Right.
on the wall once, and then falling off the cliff. But you can screenshot the hell out of that. You don't actually have to make them that big. The only thing you really need to be able to see is the giant snakes,
Yeah,
not the worm part.
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyways.
But you see it start to rise up, and it is a mix between a squid and some otherworldly entity that you can't really put into words. Each of its long arms end with massive mouths. And this thing stands several hundred feet tall, several thousand feet long if it was actually stretched out fully. You can see crevices where its tendrils and whatnot, its tentacles were buried underneath.
So Solon, he's acting like this is a baby.
That's kind of scaring me.
That's because it is a baby.
That's even more terrifying.
Me and you need to have a conversation about what's cute and what's
Yeah.
not.
Like,
Exactly is it?
Like,
You have gone unnoticed because of the magics on these islands, but I cannot allow you to stay living here. You have this one chance to return to your sire, or I will devour you.
What he said, I stand behind the mini beholder.
Yeah, he's size of baseball, or like a hardball, those larger baseballs, but roughly about
A softball.
Softball, yeah, sorry, softball. A little bit bigger, but a tremendous presence. Like his actual true form is that massive shadow. Like that's how big he would be if he did condense his. Fair. Natural 20 on his diplomacy. It lets out this kind of echoing call that both sounds familiar to an animal, but an eerie tone that kind of makes you nauseous for a few moments. As it's, sounds not native to this reality. And you see kind of a rip in the sky form and tendrils lower down around it and wrap around it and then pull it up to this rip and disappear.
Every time I wake up in the morning, I don't actually go out of my way and say, man, What crazy shit have I not seen since I was alive? But
Usually,
but lo and behold, since I've landed on this island, that has been day in, day out.
usually that sentence has been, since I met you guys. So,
Now, is there anything else you need of me?
Yes. I have a friend for you. Open up a portal, and I reach in, and I give him a pet. I give him my baby mimic.
I love it. It's so cute. And he extends one of his eye stalks, and a little beam shoots out of it and around the mimic, and it just levitates it up, and it's floating above it. Oh, so cute. Yes, you are. And he starts hovering up. Anything else? Oh,
Nope.
so cute. And you see him like petting the baby mimic with one of its eye stalks.
It's gonna get a much better home now.
All right. Xanatharan departs. So that was a thing.
I go down to see what this thing was attached to.
Okay.
It was feeding on something.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The water does start to fill up in the crevices that were left behind it. You all have water breathing and whatnot, of course. As you descend further, you see a massive lodestone that connects to the plane of water.
Oh.
With the sheer magic of the lodestone plus natural creatures and elemental creatures that pass through it from one realm to the other and whatnot, it was feeding both on the sheer number of elemental creatures, natural creatures, and raw magic from the lodestone. You can see
things considerably worse on this island. Congratulations, team. Unexpected consequences.
You can see the remains of as you're looking through the lodestone, because as of right now, because the two of the protections are still in place, you couldn't go through it or use it to go through the to the realm of water, the plane of water. Do you see corpses of massive krakens, whales, leviathans, dragon turtles, and whatnot that this thing has eaten?
Uh-huh.
How big is the lodestone?
The lodestone itself is about 120 feet wide, and then it goes, in different areas where, it's anywhere between 80 feet, long. It's massive.
Okay. So, I go to the riverbank, float up to the riverbank, and say to the water, turn towards the water, and I'm trying to remember her name. The queen nymph of this island, or the water nymph of this island. Naiad, that's the word I was looking for. The queen naiad of the. She's supposed to be allied with us.
Yep. You call her a fourth?
Yes.
It takes about 10 minutes, and the waters ripple, and her body materializes, apparates from the water, forming her body, and then it takes full shape. She smiles at you. It has been some time, my friend.
Why, hello there. So we have some good news for you and some bad news for you.
She looks at the water. I see you've taken care of this problem.
Yeah, look underneath it.
Oh my. As she, examines. Well, that's not good. Without it feeding there, who knows what will cross through?
Ding, ding, ding.
Are you looking to retrieve this for yourself, or
Anybody
otherwise
else?
I can serve it, I can shut it by dispersing its magical energies, turning it into just a normal stone. It will take me some time doing so, but
Anybody else looking to recover it? It's be an extremely valuable crafting tool or crafting component, or
Yeah, actually, I would find a use for it.
You said it's a lodestone of water.
attuned to
realm?
the plane of water, yes.
y'all can have at her, and our friendly neighborhood naiad here could probably help you guys out on it. It just needs to. It's a problem that needs to be brought to the proper attention before you start seeing krakens appear in these waters.
Leviathans, krakens,
I'd have a use for it. I could have.
dragon turtles.
I'll let him use it. I don't think it.
Well, it is massive.
It's
huge.
huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, I don't need.
Altogether, it's probably about 250 bulk.
Yeah, I don't need that much of it. But yeah, I definitely would have a use for some of it.
She nods.
What did it exactly do to my vault?
She has no idea about your vault, so she can't answer that.
I would say it to everyone there.
For anybody who would be in the market for creating their own demiplanes, this would provide an endless font of pure water, as well as whatever sea life would actually fit through whatever size lodestone you installed in your various demiplanes.
Fish tank.
There is a cost, however. It is connected with the plane of water, which means, given it's a 1 in a billion shot anybody ever would find it, but if someone were to find it, they could theoretically use that as a way to go to get to your various demiplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass then.
Not worth it. My demiplane is in the end time, about to be really, really fucking important. Not worth it.
What is this stone made of? Like, what kind of material stone is it?
Well, lodestones are generally like magnetized stones. Like in real life, they draw, iron and other things. It's like a magnet stone. However, in fantasy and even in real life, you can, add elements to it and whatnot, kind of change its resonating properties. So in fantasy, they use that as like
Fantasy, it's usually jade.
yeah. And Critical Role, there was a lodestone for each of the elements, and so forth, so on. So it's usually a magnetizing stone with various different properties depending on your setting and fantasy elements and so forth, so on.
What would happen to the lodestone if she were to disconnect the teleporting thing or to like turn it off? What would happen to the lodestone?
It would become a basic lodestone, one that's governed by mundane properties of the universal laws.
Probably be saturated. I mean, it might make some decent crafting material still, but not to the degree it was.
Yeah.
I'm actually wondering if we go the route of her, I forget how you guys said it, but like turning it off and like dispersing the magic, if we could repurpose the stone for the broken statues in that temple place.
There actually is no god to the sea in the setting, so... Or is there in your setting, Derek?
Not closest would be Melora because of how I view nature and compare. We had this talk where nature god, we always found it like weird that nature gods didn't have purview over water.
Yeah.
Like, what? So the closest would be Melora. Or one of the greater gods, or one of the...
Laura Cord, because Cord is technically god of storms. So, realistically speaking, they both have their statue up already.
Yeah. This was actually going to be your all's... if y'all went to this early on, it was going to be your first, like, hazard encounter, like, real, like, hazard encounter that y'all had to overcome. It wasn't meant to be, like, an actual straight fisticuffs, you know?
Right?
That's basically a kaiju.
Very well hidden one. So what do you want to do, guys? Harvest it or disperse it?
Can we do technically both? Because I would have a use for both ends.
Well, she has enough power. She doesn't have it within her means to separate the property that connects it to both planes. She can break it up in chunks, give you all chunks, and then disperse the rest of the magic. You'd have to find out another means to break that kind of connection between the two planes. If you wanted to break it. So to make this simple, this is what we're going to do. She breaks off enough to give each of you 10 bulk of this, and then disperses the rest. 10 bulk is a lot, and can be used quite a bit.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, next area.
Let's go with M21. Just go down. Orb of Arcane Power. Spellcasting of level 3 or lower does not consume a spell slot.
It is a rare item.
What was it?
Orb of Arcane Power.
Roll? Or what?
Orb, sorry.
Orb.
It is a held item that is rare. And it is a level 18 item.
I'll be back really quick.
All right, next spot.
Okay. N25. We're in the ocean territory. It is simply says it's a cave system.
All right. As you explore the cave system, it leads to, 3 different places. One actually leads you again, because of the chaotic nature of this place, there is a one-way portal to the elemental plane of water. It is not super big. So the largest creature that could come through it would be no more than huge. Which like a smaller dragon turtle could, or a smaller, baby kraken, but nothing like a full-grown kraken. And it's not amplified like the way lodestone. The other, you spend about 8 hours traversing through it, where it leads you basically into the dark lands of the island. When you rise out of the water, there are massive caves. You got not corridors, but paths going left and right. You got what looks to be mouths or openings on large crevices, rock platforms, and you do see a number of various entities mining away that are branded like the ones you saw before. Is there anything y'all wish to do there?
So do we mess with these guys or do we move on? Say the group as a whole.
Are they branded like how War had done that, or?
No, y'all went to the Darklands before, and you saw similar people mining away, forced servitude.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Or
We never
what
did,
looks to be.
ask them any questions. So.
Mind flares, wasn't it?
No. Excuse me. It seemed to be dark elves that were in charge of them.
Gotta ask what's up when we get back to. Yeah, I asked Darius, or not Darius, Darian.
Draven.
Draven. What's up with this?
We've had brief contact with House Nethos. They are far more brutal than us, but they abide by they are a lawful society. Evil, lawful. They very rarely come to the surface. They always seem to be harvesting. For what I do not know, as I've never truly ventured too far into the Darklands here. I do know that they have no connection to Loth.
So, what do you guys
Some
say?
of the people mining away and whatnot are Durgar, some dwarves, like actual mountain dwarves, some lizard folk, some orcs, ogres, various. They look fed. They don't look inherently abused, but they are definitely worked ragged.
They're well-fed slaves, but they're still slaves.
Yeah. I hate to sound all high and mighty, but I feel this is kind of low bound on the totem pole of importance at the moment.
High and mighty or heartless? I mean, because the biggest thing is I feel like something could or should be done, but at the same time, with the way it sounds like, do we have time to deal with this or possibly make enemies of somebody.
I mean, if we want to bring the lizard people in this, I'm not above genocide. I mean, I was surprised that road was easily crossed there. You guys say the word, and I mean, I'm all for it. But if you guys actually want to spend the time actually doing it, I leave it up to the people who still breathe.
What's Chucky have to say here?
I honestly don't like this at all.
So you want to hack them up? Not the slaves. I mean the dark elves. You want to hack them up?
Not
This is a very important distinction.
Yeah.
More like I just would rather like to have the slaves be free.
And if you have to hack up dark elves, it's a good coincidence, or
I don't want to hack up dark elves. It's last resort.
I feel special.
okay, you go walk up to them and you tell them no, they're doing the bad thing, and you tell me what happens.
Now, it's important to note, just like last time, you don't see any overseers. You just see the brands on them.
Yep.
You don't see any drow like with whips or telling them, what to do. They're just going about their work.
Last time we saw this, didn't we find out or have some kind of idea that maybe these were like bad guys or like convicts and this is like a punishment kind of thing, or were they just like regular people that were taken and put into this?
You know what? I'm giving you a hero point for remembering that.
Did we find that out, or is that just an assumption?
No, it was. You didn't go up to one of the dark elves and go, "Hey, are these criminals?" But watching everything that went on, they weren't. Even because at that one time, there was one time you did see some of the dark elves and whatnot, but they weren't like overly cruel or anything. You see none of these people running off. None of them necessarily seem to be in distress. They definitely seem to work to death. Like their bodies, you can tell, hurt and whatnot, but they are fed. Through various sets of roles, you determine that the likelihood that they are criminals paying for, or this is their punishment. So yes, I give you a hero point for that.
Well, if that's the case, then if they're fulfilling a punishment, I have no problem with them staying there.
Oh, so slavery's okay if it's a punishment. Now I understand.
There's really no winning anything in this if you don't say, let's go free the slaves.
Okay, well, let's put it this way. In some aspects, we're badasses. But in most cases, we could easily get our asses handed to us. I don't think we have enough sway yet to handle this properly.
I think my scythe has a pretty much amount of sway to handle the situation, but
You realize all of this can be solved just because of one grammatical correction. They're not slaves. They're indentured servants.
So yes, what do you all do?
So,
So,
I'm giving
Move
the
to
other.
J25 next.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to say anything.
Yeah.
There was a third passage. The third passage actually leads, and it goes through. The water actually snakes through, um, the rocky foundation of the island, and it opens up into a large canyon of lava that leads to the plane of fire. Now, there is something very important to note here. This is the first time that you found a kind of natural portal between the realms that is two-way.
Oh. I look for signs of passage.
There are. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Which realm is this?
Plane of fire. Right now, you're looking at a large canyon that's filled with lava and magma.
I'm gonna hero point and roll again, but we also all have hunter's sight, or the wolf gave us, or something like that.
Yep.
So like we have super sight when it comes to spotting footprints and like.
Yep.
But I'm gonna roll again for or token.
Good God, so many ones tonight.
Token, not hero point.
Um,
Not great, but better.
Not on me. I'm good.
you notice some footprints here and there, Solon, but can't really distinguish what of. Gavin, you notice that there are footprints. They look to be Afridi, Acers, and then you notice large crevices, like a large serpent or like a snake leaves behind, indicating salamanders. Now the footprints of the Afridi, they're massive. Ifrits are large creatures,
Mhm.
sometimes huge. So they're large.
They definitely make the remark that there's definitely been tracks out of the fire plane into here.
And vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we could close it if we want to. What do you think, Solon? Is it something that's worth closing, especially it being a two-way?
Kind of, yeah. What's the focal point of the? Is it just a portal, like a stationary portal, or is it a lodestone again?
Immediate looking. It's not like a standing portal where it's like a ripple or like a mirror or you can see the other side. There's just kind of a shimmer that indicates there is something there. With your all's arcane prowess, you know that it's a natural reoccurring portal. As you all look around, you do see another lodestone. Well, you sense, because you all got detect magic and whatnot, you sense another lodestone. However, it's about 20 feet in the lava and magma.
Don't we know someone that could help us with this?
The fire giants.
That's not exactly.
The dwarf might be able to help us too. Stone dwarf. To what end? What do we want to accomplish here?
Closing the portal is just my accomplishment completely.
Yeah, I probably should close it.
Do you guys know how? Okay, I guess I know a way. So I go over to the portal. Nair, prepare to port me away.
Well, you're standing on the part before the lava and whatnot because you're not immune to lava and all that.
Yeah, but I can fly.
That's true.
Might
Hold
the
on
lava.
1 second. You will take periodic damage as you're floating over it. You take 22 fire damage, and then every minute thereafter, you'll be taking more damage.
Okay. So 12 damage. I need a turtle to prevent that. Like,
Okay.
remainder. So go over to the portal. I stab it with a dagger.
Okay. You stab it with the dagger, and it fades away. Nair teleports you back. As you're already getting your, leaving, you can sense the portal come right back. The portal, as you get now, is a byproduct of the lodestone. You disrupted the portal momentarily.
Yeah, but I
So,
destroyed the magic. That's what the dagger does.
In that regards, I think you would actually have to strike the lodestone with it.
And there's no part of the lodestone that's not submerged?
No.
If we can see it though, I'll just have Nair portal under it, portal up here.
Oh, you're going to port the lodestone.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be a contest of wills. I need you to give me for simplicity, give me a spell attack roll. Charlie. Is Charlie here?
Yeah.
Give me a spell attack roll for Nair.
Nair. Okay. Oh, it's just a plus 15. Okay. $28.
She just got the DC. For a moment, she struggles to actually teleport the lodestone. Drake or Solon, as you're right there and you're looking, you can see a massive figure. Its eyelid opens, and there is just perpetual, eternal fire, unlike anything you've ever felt before. And you see it rise up, and you see a massive ball, every bit as big as the god beast of sea. And then the lodestone actually teleports in front of you all everyone takes 78 points of fire damage, being in close proximity of it.
I stab it with the dagger.
As as you're motioning to stab it with the dagger, you see the god beast of fire open up its maw, and it's about to unleash a turret of flames that could melt stone
Through the portal?
Before, yeah, it can't fit through the portal, at least not yet.
But it's not in the plane of fire.
Should be.
No, it's in the savage lands to the south. Both it and the earth beast and the air beast.
Why was I thinking it was in the elemental plane of fire?
I don't know. Because remember, the savage land is one giant nature.
Yeah. No, dude. For some reason, I completely forgot about that. All right, changing it up a little bit. Dan, or
Yes.
Solon, you notice that it's a massive ancient red dragon.
Oh.
Still a massive creature that will melt stone with its fire. Just changing creature type.
Now you're
Stab the stone. The flame goes to shoot. Only a couple flames lick out as the portal shuts.
I'm going to, as the portal's shutting, I'm going to say, I'm telling 7 on you.
You hear it whimper. I said, no, please.
I didn't think 7 was around anymore. I thought it's out of turn.
7 died years after died a natural death. I don't know if he's technically still around yet or not. Or if Izzy's fully assumed the mantle of red.
Izzy has fully assumed the mantle of red.
Okay,
that's
so
still a threat.
That's
still a threat. Yeah, he's passed on, but that's still a threat. Dragons are smart enough to know you can do some fucking voodoo shit to bring his spirit back.
I'm going to tell Izzy on you.
I want the cookies. Sorry. All right, so J25 you said?
Yep.
Okay.
On J25, an underwater ruined elven city.
Okay. Here you find the ruins of some of the first elven people on the world of history. The script, you can read it, Solon, because of your gift, but it's the ancient tongue of the elven people. Even most newer Eladrin elves cannot speak this.
I am amazing.
I want to spend time looking and taking notes of any buildings that still stand.
Knowing of Nair's past, could you read it?
Nair can. The part that still stands is part of an old kind of academic college, university, whatever you want to call it. Wow, brain fart died there for a second. You can learn spellcasters can learn a special feat. It is level 3, 11, it's level 4, level 12, and level 18. The first one is prereq for the second one, and the second one is prereq for the third one. Words of Power. It is a metamagic feat that, when learned, if you speak words of power, it gives you a +1 to your spell attack, or a status bonus to +1 to your spell attack and DCs. Yes, speak friend and may enter. So it is a special metamagic feat that spellcasters can learn.
Okay.
Next up, the grow level, retrain it is.
So, and I just want to make kind of notes of how of it and kind of how it's designed, let alone maybe what caused it to still be standing in this long.
Okay. Just as you get a look, as you do, it's superior craftsmanship. I mean, a lot of it is in ruins, but this part right here, from the magical wards and raw craftsmanship, has allowed it to be in such pristine condition to this point in time.
Okay.
I'm guessing each subsequent feat just increases the
Yeah.
hit +1, +2 to +3.
Yes.
Got it.
It takes one action to cast it because meta magic feat, but yeah. All right. Where to next?
How long is it? Is that just a free feat that we can pick up, or
When
or do
you
we have to
level,
retrain?
or you can retrain into it.
Okay.
It's a general feat you can take. It's basically what.
It's a class feat for spellcasters, but yeah, it's whenever you reach level, the prerequisites for it. So if y'all would have went there early on, you would have had it early on, so forth, so on. But it's one of those feat chains that are good no matter what level you take it.
Okay. H24 is a ship graveyard. Roll 5 times on magic items. Level 13, 15, and 19.
Ooh. All right. Damn it. Where is the book? Here we go. All right, what level?
13, 15, and 19.
All right, somebody roll a D21.
Is it a D21?
Yep.
A 7.
You find the dancing rune. All right, D17.
17.
What'd you get?
12.
12.
Silver buckler high grade. All right, roll D17 again.
I'm looking at the dancing
Then
rune
I got a
and it's
bit.
fucking awesome.
What did you get?
10.
Luck blade wishing. I got a P. Y'all can look it up. All right, be right back.
The dancing rune is just fun. That's actually a fun rune.
You just let it go and the blade just dances around you, attacking.
It's a 2-action command. You release the weapon, fights on its own against the last enemy you attacked or the nearest enemy to it if your target has been defeated. At the end of your turn, the weapon can fly up to its speed of 40. Then can either fly again or strike one creature within reach. Has an attack modifier of plus 24. Plus item bonuses to attack rolls. Use the weapon's normal damage, but has a plus 0 strength modifier. And hit or critical abilities still activate. And then after it's finished using its actions, you attempt a DC 6 flat check. And if you fail that check, the weapon falls to the ground.
So the Wishing Luck Blade actually has the ability to cast Wish once. It's a +3 sword, or +3 greater striking short sword with an activation ability. Basically, you can re-roll and take the second roll if you miss, and then of course it has Wish. One use of Wish, or a spellcaster can cast Wish. They can put Wish back into it, but you can only cast it once. Otherwise,
I'll be right back really quick. That actually sounds kind of nice to have.
All right, I am back. Sam could use the Wish Blade.
Welcome back.
All right, so as you explore this, there is something to note. The ships here are from multiple different ages. You see some very primitive ships. You see some that defy current technology. They look far too advanced. Some being completely made out of metal. And reference World War I, II type of ships and whatnot.
Huh.
so we basically see the Missouri or something like that.
Yeah. Not exactly the same because it's not Earth ships, but it looks like, far more advanced. You see large protruding tubes, some of them destroyed, some of them still mounted. Basically cannons. Unlike anything you have all ever seen before.
Does that include me considering of the vault?
Your vault's different. Your vault is completely
Far superior to anything here, right?
Yeah. But yours is also not normal technology. You see a couple ships like this, so it looks like these are, made. They look similar enough to be, mass-produced kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or produced on a large scale. I wouldn't say mass, but you know what I mean. All right, what do y'all do? Or where do y'all go?
Okay, so people can claim items if they want.
You want the luck blade? Is anybody opposed to her taking the luck blade?
Nope.
It's needed.
All right, congratulations, Sam. You have a luck blade with the wish bell on it.
All right, I'll remove it from the loot.
All right, what's the next square or hex?
H25. H25 is an underwater volcano.
Okay. It seems dormant. But there is definitely an immense amount of presence there. As you investigate slowly, and I think this is where I got it fucked up at, you do see basically spawnlings from the god beast of fire.
Okay.
They're more, magma at the moment because of the water all around them and whatnot, so they kind of have a magma shell. But you can see the veins and whatnot, and you can tell these are younglings just by their demeanor and staying close to quote unquote the nest. Pointing out that they're younglings, they're still gargantuan creatures. They're the spawn of the god beast of fire.
Hey guys, look it. They're babies.
Babies that need to be sent back home.
To be fair, the mortal world is the god beast's, god beast's home.
Kind of trapped because they're deep underwater, so they can't go up. They would just turn into stone and float to the bottom. This may be one of those things that it's a deal with in the future kind of situation, if even needed be.
Yeah.
So, you and Aractus are not going to try claiming him?
No. I don't got a place to put him.
Think of a massive those real just really burly muscular mastiffs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picturing those Chinese dragon dogs. I don't know why.
And
Fair.
nobody
But
wants
think,
one?
Think of the body structure of one of those big muscular masses, but with a more predatorial face, kind of almost kind of like a bullet's face, which is a creature, bullet. And there's massive maw, very very bulky, very. They look intimidating.
What I'm hearing is adorable.
And nobody wants to claim it?
They're
I very much
gargantuan.
want to, but as soon as I do, Dan will take it from me.
They're gargantuan and there are multiples. Have at it.
They're bigger than Jaffa, though.
Simple solutions.
She has a look on her face.
Find. Let's kill some animals and bring it to them. Simple
I
as
have
that.
an idea.
I take a step away from Amaran when he said, "Let's kill some animals."
And bring.
So I have a feeling like the luck blade is about to get some use.
And not refer. No.
So you had a go ahead, Seth.
Referring to befriending them by bringing them food. That's what my thought process was going for.
Something that is perishable that's put in a bag of holding. Does it stay in its state when it's put in the bag of holding, or will it eventually rot?
It will eventually rot. It has 15 minutes of air, unless you put a decanter of endless air in it.
Or
Which,
somehow empty the air out of your bag of endless hold. Or your
yeah,
bag
if you somehow manage to take the air out of your bag of holding, which is a lot harder than it, may seem.
then you'd be essentially vacuum sealing whatever's inside.
Is there something any of us can roll to have an idea of the diet of these creatures?
Nature. Oh, I'm guessing is what it would be. Otherwise,
So
Both the roll
Zadek,
and
for when this fails, how easy is it for Nair to open a portal to another plane that she's seen?
Not that easy because of the magical interference. She would have to make a check. You get the idea, Sam, that its food source is literally anything that it consume into ash.
I'm guessing Arcana check.
I'd allow nature or arcana.
Well,
Or
there's
what, for your teleporting?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be arcana. Go ahead.
I have some.
I have a thing that I'd been meaning to do for however long that we've been on this island. I've not preserved the meat that I got off of those one creatures that we fought.
That's some rancid ass meat. Probably more like cold slaw right now.
It's been in my bag of holding, and it can technically be turned to ash. So I could try to feed them.
I mean, what kind of taste buds can they have, really?
Well, when they turn everything to ash, do they need taste buds? I mean, it all tastes the same then.
All right, Araxis, how do you go about this? As the rest of your group sees this look of wonder in her eyes, as has grown accustomed with finding babies of animals and now elementals.
Are they pure elemental or are they somewhat bestial?
They seem to be like an intelligence of a bestial creature, but their body is that of elements of right now kind of again magma hardening because of the water and whatnot.
Because of that feat I have. That's why I'm curious.
No, that would not work.
All right.
What were they harvest from? Basilisks? They're large creatures. So you could have gotten about 40 bulk worth of meat. There's 7. Yeah.
I will slowly begin to approach them as I am pulling out the 40 pounds of rancid meat out of my bag of holding.
I go and take the 5-minute takes to blend into the environment. Like, just to be safe. I've had one death experience.
So as
too
you
many
start
death
to get
experiences since I started.
closer, you see one snap its head at you and kind of, lollies its head to the side. And, it opens up its maw and you see this kind of like magma tongue lolly out that you see though, pulsing fire underneath, but it's hard because of the water and whatnot. And then another one kind of hunkers down, looks up at you, and then you lose track of 2 of them.
I'm about to get clever though.
And then you got 2 that are just sitting in the back watching over the two that are looking at you. And then the largest is kind of sitting on a crevice or kind of a vent on the underwater volcano, basking in the heat. And you can see its flesh is more like actual flowing lava instead of kind of hardened.
So I can get like the idea that of this litter, he's like the alpha of the litter of the babies. I'm going to continue approaching with the food in hand out in front of me, and I'm going to be softly like reassuring them that I mean no harm. They look hungry, and I will place the food.
Give me a diplomacy check.
I will pray to Io for help.
Are
And that
these
would
things
be-
considered dogs?
Dogs?
Canine?
They kind of have a vague symbol, like between a canine and a bullet.
Because
Go for it.
my familiar is like a canine. That means it has the ability to talk to other canines. So that means I could talk to these things.
No. Io does not grant you favor right now.
I was gonna say I can help if you really want, but I don't.
If you help,
I think you're.
will be, you won't be concealed and whatnot.
I'll be nice and help because they don't seem to be running at her. So, what is it? I forgot how help works in skills.
You roll your check. It doesn't have to be the same skill. Generally, it's a DC 20. If you succeed, you get a +1. If you critically succeed, depending on what your rank in the skill is, they get bonuses or a greater bonus all the way up to +4. For legendary.
So I at least have to get a 20, huh?
Nope. So as you're swimming down, and you realize, because none of your companions said they followed you, as you kind of look around, you and Jaff are the only ones that are swimming down. You're maybe
You
about...
use your new wish spell to make one a pygmy.
You're about 50 feet from them, and they are truly massive. Could swallow you whole easily. Jaff might give them a little indigestion, but they can definitely swallow you whole. The one that's lolling its tongue kind of lifts its head at you, just giving you those kind of big puppy dog eyes. Well, the other one, because you're floating down, the other one's kind of circling you underneath.
But not like trying to get behind me or anything. It's just...
Yeah, just circling. Looking up at you.
I'll probably get about like 25, 30 feet away. I'll leave the food and kind of like bow my head respectfully because I don't know like how sentient these creatures are, but I'm trying to give the impression that I'm not a threat. I come in peace. Here's food. I'm going to start backing away.
Okay. As you do that, give me a reflex save.
I'm going
Yay for your free
All
hero.
right. So as you're floating there trying to back away, one of the ones that you didn't see comes swimming straight up. You do manage to kind of pivot your body enough, and you do not get hit by it. And it just swims up. You see as it gets higher up away from the volcano, its body starts to, harden more, and then it descends back down, and you see it starting to, loosen back up. Doesn't necessarily seem like it was trying to eat you, but you definitely would have been nailed, head on. All right, what do you do?
I don't get the impression that it was trying to bite me.
No, it was more like a body check.
I will.
Like a shark does before it bites onto something. It bumps it first.
I will keep my composure and continue backing away.
Okay. You back away. 50, 60, 70, 80 feet. When do you stop?
Would I put the food close enough for them to be able to get to it without the heartbeat?
Yeah. You see, them munch down on it and instantly just dissolves. The one that's laying on the vent is watching you very intently. What do you do?
Okay. Did what I wanted. I'm gonna leave them alone now.
Okay. They stay there. You swim off back to your companions. And you all move on then.
And we potentially have gained allies later on.
Maybe you just gotta find a way from them to get from the underwater volcano onto land.
And we can figure that out later on.
Fair. Okay.
And
You
I've
did
got
make an
40
impression.
pounds of rancid meat.
You did make an impression. So,
Okay. E26. Small jagged island and cave.
all right. So, the jagged islands look like teeth that rise up from the water. Inside the cave, you see a dais with a kind of a vertical column that forms into a large bowl. The bowl is empty, and the bowl itself seems to be made out of white gold.
Arcana to identify what the room is used for?
Okay. Give me an Arcana check.
I'll have
While
Nair
you're-
do.
While yours,
This would be a new day, I'm guessing, because we've done a lot of
Yeah.
exploring. So I'm going to go ahead and token. Much better.
That's funny.
all right. So while you don't get a whole lot of information, you do understand the kind of mechanisms behind it. This is a place where the people of ancient times would go to give a sacrifice to the gods for blessing.
Hey, we just passed several sacrifices a little while back.
I'll make sure next time I see him, I'll let him know you said that.
Okay.
All right. But yes, this seems to be a sacrificial bowl, altar, if you will, to the gods of old. Again, you can't glean much more than that because it's more of a religion thing, but you get the general idea of what it's for.
Was I able to identify what the tribute is acceptable to the bowl? Is it a blood sacrifice, or is this?
I will allow you to, much like you get the idea, much like the temple that was risen from the center. This is for all the gods that once walked that temple and gave blessings to the world. So it depends on the god in question that you would have sought blessing from. And as far as sacrifice, what bit you do know about religion, it could be anything from, yes, a blood sacrifice to sacrificing wealth to something you hold valuable, something that the god holds to value.
I relay this information to the group as a whole.
Do y'all do anything else here?
You said it'd be religion to
Get more information on one
more
thing.
information. Oh
Yeah.
And my feet won't work that way, so yeah. Like, okay.
So religion to gather more information on it.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
Are we underwater again? Jill?
No.
We're
We're
not.
Alright. Using incense. Do that. That's for an hour.
Sweet. You can tell that the gods that were beseeched the most for favor here, Gavin, were your major ones: Cord, Melora, Ioun, sorry. The ones that more directly impact the day, the lives of mortal creatures. Even if you don't die of old age, you're still quote unquote immortal because you die of disease and so forth, so on. One thing you do notice because of your back story, this does seem to be crafted by somebody that is well known to the Dragon Lords, Cindric the Old.
I will relay that and say that this is Cindric's handiwork.
Now, with your high roll right there, you do know that it does not matter what god you beseech. You can give up a personal offering that you hold dear, and you can commune with the god of your choice that will answer 5 questions. Truthful and to the best of its ability. Yes. Yes. He's an eccentric kook that was once a Court of Stars member that decided to make his own reality because he didn't like this one.
Didn't Dan get a blueprint from him?
Yes.
Like to make a...
Yeah. If I remember correctly, he was a insane architect in a way.
Yeah, he was.
He's the one who built the forts we used in the last campaign as our wall.
And then he built that one labyrinth for other monsters.
Yep.
Did you ever figure out what the hell that Atlas was fully?
Nope.
Didn't he make that too?
Wait, no, wait, yeah, I did ask him. I don't think I ever got the statistics for it. Doesn't it show like you could focus in it and you could show like any place on the planet, like super scrying?
Super scrying, yes. And as a 10-minute ritual, you can teleport to that place.
That was it, yes.
If you spend an additional hour before the teleportation, you can make yourself invisible and undetected, unnoticed. So yeah. Sorry, you'd be unnoticed. When you use it in this fashion, you do not leave behind footprints or anything like that.
Yep, that would be it.
It also has an insanely high counteract check, meaning that it can scry on almost anything, if not anything. It can show you the secrets of the world. So long as you have a vague idea you're looking for, you can interact with it, do research, and it can reveal secrets that you believe exist, confirming that they do exist, where their whereabouts at, or if they're just tall tales.
And this is a building where?
Oh, this is a globe.
Where
An
is this
atlas.
said globe?
On Atlas.
It's in somebody's possession.
I have it.
I think so on here. Is it?
No, nobody else had any use for it, so he's like, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to let me use it sometime?
Huh. The guy that just threatened me with God Beast. I'll think about it.
To be fair, I did not realize that.
joke.
That was. I did not realize that was the one being you were talking to.
So what you're saying is, I did not realize you had something I wanted, so I did not know that was a joke.
Hey, buddy, could I use your globe? I haven't
take
threatened
back
you
everything
or
I said because I didn't realize you had something I wanted.
I haven't.
Want to use, not have. Use. You can keep it. I just would like to use it.
I haven't threatened you or belittled you in almost a month now in game.
Character growth. So, is there anything y'all wish to do here or move on?
Nothing comes to the point of. Nothing comes to mind at the moment that I would want to commune and ask for.
All right, then to the next location. I realize the next session or two is probably going to be a little boring for any viewers, but they're finally getting some much needed wanting to exploring done and put projects into motion. So, excuse me.
Well, actually, so okay, I know what you wanted. Okay, so I take a moment, and I don't know how close to the end of the day this is, Derek.
I will say midday.
For sake of argument, I say let's take a day here. Let's take half a day here. I'm gonna make 2 crafting checks, Derek, to begin work on the statue, the core of the statue that, or the head of the statue that was commissioned by Araxis. And I want to take the shavings from that tooth and give them to Araxis. It says, this is an opportunity to commune with your god. I nod towards the bowl, and I give her the shavings. So realistically, it doesn't matter. The success and failure doesn't matter. It's just because this is just getting started on the statue, but to get the shavings.
Well, it's actually just 1 crafting roll, so.
Oh, okay. It's just a single crafting check.
Yep, single crafting check, and you use that crafting check to compare for each day that you craft on it. Nice, 28.
I'm going to hero point and reroll.
Okay.
You don't realize that's not a great roll for me.
Fair.
That's a worse.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take the second roll, right?
Yep. Now you can be like, you do get her the shavings, but you do realize if you continue on your current path, you're going to make substantially slow progress in, making what you want. So it's better to take your time, reevaluate of how you want to make this.
Got it.
You could still make incremental progress even on a critical failure, but it is so substantially low that it would take forever and a day.
It's a wasted session, basically.
Yeah.
Got it. So, you have.
But that's what you do for the day. Yeah, that's what you do for the day, and you come to the conclusion: this is definitely not the product I feel comfortable putting my name on. Starting over. You have shaving, so if you want to speak to Io, you can ask him 5 questions, and he will answer them truthfully and to the best of his abilities.
Is that something I have to do in session now, or is that something you and I can do out of session?
So long as you state that you do it, we can handle it in a side session, and you can let them know anything you want to, or you can handle it right now if you like. But this is the point in time where it would happen.
Okay.
Because once you leave this island, you would have to come back to this island to be able to do it.
I would ask the group if there's anything that they can think of that I should ask, and if not, I'll save it for out of game.
I'm fine waiting for out of game.
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
C26. It's, just as a cave.
I gotta bring my notes up on that one. All right. So as you delve in and you look around, you notice that there is a clutch of large eggs about the size of a man's torso. As you examine it and look at it as the light reflects into them, they look like serpentine creatures.
Leviathan eggs?
Or face huggers.
They're as big as your torso. They're no longer face huggers at that point. They're just huggers.
Touche. Unless you got a really big face.
These ones are
even-
meant for giants.
Not even the space jockeys are that big.
All right, so what do y'all do?
I want a nature check to see if I can identify the eggs.
All right. How the fuck did you get a 2? Oh, you got a -2.
I wanted to establish that was just for fun.
Oh shit. So at first glance, you thought maybe that this was a clutch of sea serpent eggs, because you've actually seen, one of your guards of the island is a sea serpent that helps protect its shore. But at a closer examination and taking about 10 minutes to further look, these are actually a clutch of Leviathan eggs. Leviathans only lay a small clutch every 1,000 years, near the end of their, actual reproduction cycle. Leviathans can live up to, the course of 10,000 years if they're not killed, but within their first 1,000 years of their life, they lay their clutch. That is the only clutch that they will ever lay. Yes. Leviathans, and the eggs themselves take about 100 years to hatch. Looking at it, you maybe have about 2.5 months before they're hatched.
And they have to be in water, don't they?
They have to be submerged in water, yes. Now, with that roll, you do know that Leviathans grow relatively quick. Within their first month of living, they're about 100 feet long. They are not group creatures. Once they hatch, they will spread out.
And how many eggs are in this room?
There is a total of 12.
Is that including the one that Sam tried to steal or not?
That is including the one. She didn't actually...
That was just for jokes.
Kind of like you trying to steal World Carver off Chucky.
Got it.
Now you do know this. Out of the 12 here, you're maybe going to get 3 or 4 that live, and that's because if the ones that hatch together generally try to consume one another. The weaker ones try to flee, while another one's getting fed on, so forth, so on. That's why Leviathans, there aren't a huge number of them. And each one is generally unique and named because of how rare they are. For what?
Realization hits me. I look for signs of the bitch. Female half of Famine. I want to find out if she's been here. Looking for her tracks.
Okay.
Or signs
Now,
of her.
Sam was looking for Mama, like, Mother Leviathan and Papa Leviathan kind of thing. She did roll 20, so that will inadvertently aid you in your roll to see for any tracks, because she's looking for things out of the ordinary, or, what would be necessarily a danger here.
I would help Dan with his search as well, just through my scythe and stuff, since I'm more attuned to that stuff.
I'll go ahead and token, because New Day.
Question for you. Since the way stones that we have were given from the water plane, the lodestone, sorry, were those deactive before they dispersed, so we could use them to technically create a demiplane?
They were not deactivated. She said, it's beyond her to remove the planar connect purpose. You would have to find a way to do that yourself. Sam, as you're looking around, you don't see any signs of Mama Leviathan, thankfully, because, again, it's a kaiju, pretty much, a creature that is truly massive.
It would have fought with the god beast of water. It probably would have gotten eaten.
Yeah, it would have probably gotten eaten by the god beast of water if it was still around. Or, that there's been a few portals to the plane of water. Now, Leviathans are very powerful creatures, so they may have been able to manipulate it to actually breach to the other side. You're not sure. But as you're looking around, and you see Dan, he's looking, because he had kind of like an epiphany. He's looking around. You do look over and you point, and both of you do notice that there are some disturbances here. The, kind of sand on the bottom of the cave, there are indentions. Some of it is covered up, but some of them still remain of a clawed foot. Gavin, as you are using your spirit sight with your scythe, you notice that 4 out of the 12 have been tampered with.
Knew it.
And you can sense the presence of the Mother of Beast.
Do I feel like I could untamper them?
No, that is beyond you. Once the mother monster takes root, there is no going back. Not even a wish spell or divine intervention.
I gather those tainted ones, and I tell the others they can pick of the others.
Tell us that they're tainted, or do you just take them?
I took the tainted ones. I'm going
But do you tell them?
But
That's
you
what
tell
it's
them tainted.
I say I'm going to do what needs to be done. Breakfast. I say that to break the tension, but they're tainted. There's no way to untaint that.
Trust me, if you can figure out a way to reverse the Mother of Monsters, what she has done, you would be a hero on every plane.
Yeah.
You could bring the Blood Lord back to being mortal. You could, take away, Ulrich's werewolf. You could, undo countless devastations. Sadly, that is far beyond you. Not even the gods have found a way to reverse it.
And right now, the best I could do is make sure that these things are not born to this realm.
There's 2 people I can think of that could do it.
Kind of curious.
The Witch Queen and Drake.
Theoretically, they might be able to come up with a way.
Well, it would be a matter of reverting the soul back to its original. The problem is you can't polymorph them because they've basically changed their original form into a new form.
Yeah.
If you wiped the mark of the Mother of Monsters off of the soul, in which case then their form is simply, a simple polymorph spell can change that. That's minor. It's the matter of you have to wipe away the bestial influence.
So there are 2 that can potentially do it, but this would be a collaboration with the 2, and they would have to.
Drake isn't good at transmutation magic, anyways, so
she is.
That would be something she would have to do.
Yeah, it would be a collaborative effort, and it would be significant research and experimentation that would take time. Before you can really make your first roll with either one of them, it would be about 3 months of experimenting and trying to create a formula to do that. So I will allow that to possibly transpire.
It'd be after they hatch then.
But you can also slow that. You can slow that too. There are magics that.
Or we could not care. Or we could potentially not care about what happens to these particular eggs, but use them as experimental materials to uncover a way to combat Mother Monster influence.
Yeah.
Because now you have newborn lives that are just beginning the Mother Monster's mutation. So. It might be worthwhile.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Drake would trade handsomely for because it allows him to experiment and learn new aspects of a school of magic, or or not a school of magic, but a sub.
Limit limit a foe's danger significantly.
Yeah.
If you can counter the Mother of Monsters magic, she no longer poses anywhere near as big a threat to him.
Yeah.
You were going to say something, Sam? You got your hand raised, so go ahead. Well, speak so they can hear.
Okay, there's 12 eggs.
4 of them are tainted.
4 of them are tainted.
So I have 8.
Can I take 2 of the eggs?
I'm colorly curious. What are you going to do with them?
Can you not roll a 1? I'm sorry.
They're not for me.
You're going to give them to Io for a snack?
No.
Oh.
God. No, what I'm thinking is what I told you out of game about the whole temple thing. I want Leviathan Guardians for that temple.
And it's theoretically possible. Again, they're solitary creatures, so it would take a lot of work. That is something possible. But that is something that you
Which temple to be.
It's the one with all the statues in the middle of in the middle of the islands that we brought out of the water.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
If you,
I mean, I'm perfectly happy.
I can't find my damn notes on those buffs. Can somebody post the buffs for Charlie?
Which buffs?
The bus from the last fight.
Those stay, or did they that they were left there?
Side stuff, I have access to them. I can activate them
Okay.
weekly.
it's the cord one was the first melee attack in a round does max damage, or is a crit, does max damage. I don't remember what it had to deal with healing. I know, but that doesn't help with what's her faces, and I have no idea what Melora's was.
On cords, was it first attack during a round?
Yep, does max damage. First melee attack round does max damage.
Yeah.
Wasn't what was it? The healing one, the Seren Ray, wasn't it like 15 fast healing? Fast healing 15, something like that.
It was.
Oh,
it was
fast
Fast healing
25.
25.
I remember the fast healing total, but it also got rid of all negative conditions.
I just saw what you posted, Charlie, about the whole Hero Force thing. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. They finally
Did it.
answered that question.
Oh,
Did they finally get it added to?
No,
Fires.
they're explaining how it's going to be done. It's not the same as because we unlocked the goal to create your own minis and shit like that. They're not using the same system. Any previous tabletop 3D models you purchase will be linked to Tailspire. So that's cool. It will not affect the the modding or anything like. It's pretty neat. That's cool. I'm glad they finally answered that.
okay. I don't remember what Melora's is, but Sam.
Quadruple your speed,
Oh, that's
All
right.
right.
and a success becomes a critical success.
So Sam, when we bring Drake forward to deal for the experimenting on the 4, that's one of the things you could ask for him, because he could actually lay a compulsion into the 2 eggs to protect said temple.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll do that then.
That's not all we'll ask for, because that is wildly in his favor.
Yeah.
On that other one, it's quadruple your speed, and then what was the second part of that?
Success becomes a critical success.
Skill check,
Skill checks, yeah. Skill checks become
not attacks. So I have to clarify that one.
Yep.
Skill checks and attacks.
No,
Become- no,
just skill checks.
just skill
If that was the case, Simon would be really happy suddenly.
Boom, boom, boom.
Um,
All right.
Okay. So Dan, I would
Also,
say
Dan, you would know because of your nature check, and just to help fill in the gap here, because of the basically marking the scent of the Leviathan keeps other predatory creatures away. So the mother Leviathan doesn't actually stay with the clutch.
got it.
Now the champion of famine isn't affected by that because it's an intelligent creature, and well, its mother is far scarier.
Right.
So Dan, Gavin would ask Solon if he would allow him to trade those to Drake. Then, for that, for favor, you want me to just give it to him?
Trade. Definitely do a trade.
I have a trade in mind that I would want. I'm sure it's probably not an even trade by far.
We can stack requests here
Yeah.
because Sam's gonna ask for something.
Yeah.
She wants to imprint on these two to guard that temple. What did you want to ask for? Basically, this is me, Daniel, speaking, and Daniel will say when you're crossing the line in terms of requesting too much.
I want him to take do what I want to do with the lodestone of water and just take away the teleportation aspect from it. So if I use it in my demiplane, it can't be its connection can't be used to
okay,
get
so
me.
to help out here too, because this is kind of a group choice here, multiple people could probably ask for something giving Drake these eggs, because this was a group discovery. As far as
saying.
Yeah. As far as what you're asking right there, that's trivial for Drake. Drake can do that.
Yeah.
Basically, it's putting a screen up. The only question is how big the holes you want to be in the screen. The reason I asked that is, no, it's a legitimate question because
I know.
If you have the holes in this screen big enough, sea life will cross back and forth in between, actually bringing life to your world on the ocean front. On the other hand, if it's just a straight up water is the only thing that's getting through, you have some of the purest water you can possibly get. So there's that going for it.
I have an idea.
But that's all that would be provided to your demiplane.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what do you want for what are you looking for?
Just water.
Just water?
Yep.
Yeah, that would be trivial. Then that'd be even easier.
Well, there's that, but this lodestone's basically an open doorway for whatever wants to come and go. What if
you can't go through it. It only works one way. It only comes towards this plane, not towards the water plane.
Okay, so what if instead of blocking it to everything but water, what if we put a door in the open doorway so that way more than just water could come through? So that way any creature that we want to come through the lodestone could then.
Well, what Charlie's negotiating for is in his demiplane, because we each got a boulder essentially of this lodestone that we can do with what we will. You got a boulder of it. He got a boulder of it. We all do. It's just a matter of what we want to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's talking about he wants to install the lodestone in his demiplane, so it provides an endless source of purified water for his demiplane. And the only reason I was asking about holes was because, fish can flow through water elementals could flow through, that kind of thing.
Drake could put a proviso on it, a exception, like only neutral creatures can cross, or he could be only fish can cross, and excluding elementals. But that is more intricate to do something like that.
What if something wants to come through, it sends a ping, and then you can either yay or nay it?
That's also doable.
Actually, Didic, I can answer this question just straight out instead of just typing to you on Skype. Can a lodestone be of multiple planes?
Yeah, that would be combining multiple lodestones. That is a risky endeavor, but it is possible.
Most of the elemental planes overlap at one point or another. In other words, there's part of the elemental plane of water that's mostly steam. That's where it overlaps with
So it goes like an onion.
Fire.
Yeah, it goes like Pathfinder goes like an onion. You got your material plane, you got your plane of air, then water, then earth, and then fire. And they do overlap at some points where they seep through and whatnot. The like fire is harder to find in the plane of air and water, but sometimes it does trickle through.
So basically, what I asked that is I want in my demiplane a combined lodestone of death and water.
You want the shadow plane or the what was it called, Derek? The
Shadow something, was it?
where the Raven Queen has her kingdom.
It would have been D&D 5th edition. It would have been Shadowfell, and Pathfinder would be the Boneyard.
So you're looking for boneyard, lodestone for the boneyard and water to be combined?
Yeah.
That one does get higher up there
Yeah.
because basically that's attuning it to the River of Styx.
That's exactly my point. Is because my new demiplane's going to become the new end place. That's why I wanted to do that.
Oh, there are easier ways to do this than just basically when your demiplane becomes fully realized, all you have to do is, and you become full death.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to will the River of Styx to connect to a water source in your demiplane. That
Okay.
you just need the water source there to connect to.
Yeah,
you don't
but
have to worry about the full part.
because it's the endpoint is being already diverted to your realm or repositioned. You would just be making a redundancy.
Yeah. Okay, then help me understand this. I guess as when I do take Death's mantle and Quran's spot, as Quran, do I have full control over the river, where it flows, where it doesn't flow, how much it flows?
No.
It is just the endpoint. You ferry the river. Your reapers ferry the river.
You're
Things
essentially
like that.
canaling it.
Yeah.
You're taking it from where its current endpoint is and digging a little bit further.
Yeah.
And now it's dimensional and there's other math involved here, but that's the layman's way of describing it. Basically, the current endpoint is Abaddon. You are digging a little bit further from Abaddon and making it so that isn't the actual endpoint.
I guess my goal with the lodestone was being able to actually control the river.
Oh,
That's
not something Drake could ever
Yeah.
even
that
come
is
close to.
Yeah, that is, and again, I don't know if Drake has the power to
Mm-hmm.
give control of the River of Styx because that's beyond most.
Yeah.
That even Quran can't
Okay.
control the River of Styx.
Let's be technical here. Yes, Drake has the power to do that, but you have to give him something that's worth that.
Mhm.
You would have to find something
That is
of
where
equivalent value to controlling death itself.
the,
Not being the Reaper.
yeah.
But the Ripper Styx represents death itself.
Yep.
A never-ending, uncontrollable force of nature. You have to find something of equivalent value to Drake to give it to him
And
in
there
order for him
would
to be able to give it to
there
you.
would be risk for Drake doing it too.
Okay.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm just
It
saying,
would be
the way his power works is technically there's no upper limit per se except for what you can get a hold of. He can't give you something for free. He can't give you something on a discount.
Yeah.
You have to match the value of what you're asking in
Yeah.
order for him to actually give you something.
the only one, and this goes back to your same dilemma. There is an entity that technically probably could do it because he is, the master of magic, and that is Bokob.
Yeah.
But again, you're running into the same dilemma of why should he do it for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
for him, I feel like
And-
you'd have to
Then
pique
back
his
to the
interest, and
actual
that's hard.
multi-lodestone question. The reason I was wanting to go multi-lodestone is I was wanting to cover the domains that I know Chiron's in control of, and I didn't know if adding a lodestone to light that to my demiplane would power it up.
Oh, it would give you more. It would give you more, but you don't need to combine them or try to control the river of Styx there. If you have
Okay.
a lodestone that empowers, more empowers your dominion or your domains and whatnot, that's something different. And that's still within a relatively good scale for Drake. And that's not exceeding like I control the river of Styx.
Okay. No.
It's something to bolster the power of those domains.
Yeah, since mine's a new domain, that's what I want to go with, and that's where I'll stop that. I just wanted to do a multiple lodestone that covered the domains that are within
Chiron's purview.
Chiron's purview, which water
Okay.
was one, death is one, soul is one, and stuff like that.
I'm gonna look in the Gods and Magic book, and I will tell you what his domains are.
Anybody else have requests for Drake?
Yeah, this is because you got good bargaining points. Sam has hers.
So I do have mine. It's just exactly what's in the lodestone, and I'm
Yeah.
just gonna use it to buff up my demiplane realm since it's a new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's far more feasible and far more within the realm of current trade value.
Okay.
I got two ideas, but I'm not sure. The one I don't think would be that hard. The other one, I don't know. Probably both aren't really that hard.
Well, I was gonna say a screen for sure, or essentially, would be nice when you.
Okay, Chucky, what were your quarter requests?
Because
then
we're
we
going to
can
be
go to-
wrapping up soon, because unless Dan wants to stay up longer.
There's one other square I want to get done tonight. If we can get that one done and then this negotiation done, I'll be happy.
Death, knowledge, souls, and water is Quran's domains.
Death, water, and what was the other one?
Knowledge
Death,
and
knowledge,
souls.
souls, water.
Oh, okay, so 4. Okay.
But the two ideas I had were, one was Chucky wants to understand the language of creation, and the other one would be getting his vault done now.
Language of creation, easy. That's done. I'm not sure Drake would speed up creation on your vault, mainly because he doesn't understand it, and he isn't going to mess with time.
Mhm.
There's a dragon that could, I suppose.
Yeah, his little time drag.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll Rambo, what's your request if you have one?
Kill all the tall people in the world. Or at least make them my height. You know what? No, 2 inches shorter than me. Everybody is 2 inches shorter than me.
Essentially being able to put a
Deal.
screen up to.
Gives you a set of glasses that can help fingers. Everybody looks 2 inches shorter than you are.
No, I'd have to think about it, but a little bit, but yeah, I would have something. But
Just a general idea so we can get the value of it. That's what's important.
well, Derek and Dan kind of know what I want to do with my character. I'm just trying to figure out how, because obviously my character's in so late. I'm trying to figure out a good way of trying to get things caught up a little bit, so that way
You
I'm a
have to
little more
specifically say what you want, though.
helpful. I guess being able to build constructs would be probably the biggest one.
Okay, there's not enough room for Solon to request something in. This is topping out on the value here, on what you guys have requested here, especially with the speeding up construction of the vault.
Well, okay.
Well, what are you looking for, Rambo?
Just
Knowledge
ability
on how to build the constructs.
Yep.
Okay.
Knowledge, he already possesses it, so that isn't that big of a deal. The language of the birds, sorry, that's what the Christian version is. That's what the language of creation. I don't know what it's called in D&D. But language of creation isn't that big a deal because he knows that. The screen door is pretty significant, but it's not that difficult. And the installing of the water lodestone in your demiplane. Or
Well, he
fusing
wanted,
water.
he wanted a lodestone of each of the domains.
Yeah, I'm just listing what you're going to get from Drake.
Yep.
And the two guardian are
And
implanting
the two guardians for that temple, or the imprints on these two, are two leviathans of our choice.
Yep.
Drake would say deal, but he wants the 4+1 untainted leviathan. What does the group say?
There's 8 technically good eggs, so if we give him 1, I'd be fine with it.
2 are taken up with Sam's request. 1 of them would go to him.
Right.
The 4 tainted ones would go to him and to the Witch Queen to experiment.
Yeah.
So that leaves 7 of the 12, so there's 5 left.
Yes. Or no, there'd be 7. So you have 5 left. Solon speaks up and says, "Wait, Dad. I have another deal for you." He pulls out the body of the Grim Reaper. Because I specifically said at the end of the session I couldn't pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get the soul lodestone, Charlie. Drake wouldn't give that up. Just so you know.
Okay.
If you find one, more power to you. But
he'll probably infuse it to the realm yourself or for you. But the lodestone that he currently has would not go.
he doesn't even have a lodestone of soul.
Fair.
It's the matter of he's not willing to impart the secrets of soul magic, and a lodestone with soul magic imprinted on it, which is essentially kind of what you want there, is flirting too close to that line for him. Flirting too close to the line of giving someone else access to soul magic. He does not want that loose at all, under any circumstance. I mean, he's not even a big fan of the Witch Queen having it. It just so happens that she was there when he got it. And she wanted it as well. But Solon says, finish out, except for the soul lodestone, Gavin's domain. Grant Araxis a subdomain as well. One that she can store her beast collection in. and be designated as friend to all beasts who reside within.
So a menagerie for companions, we'll say, because
In said domain, include one volcano and grab one of the fire beasts spawn.
which one do you want? One was addicted to you, try to body slam you. The other one, if you did not swim away, was going to do the whole Jaws thing and come up at you with its mouth open to try to swallow you. You had the one that was lolling its tongue and seemed playful. You had the one that was circling underneath that seemed more curious about you, kind of like Kane does. You got the one that was sitting on the vent, very intently studying you. And then you had the other two that were sitting back that were just kind of watching, protecting, if you will. The one that had its tongue lollied is probably the runt, you would assume.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to clarify something here. Josh, for yours, he was going to have the time. It wasn't enough. There wasn't enough there for an instant complete.
So it would be how many weeks in a month in this one? Is it
6.
4 or 5?
Oh, wait.
6.
6, yeah, so it'd be 3 weeks. Also, and this is out of game real quick, just for going forth, and I've been weighing this decision, why other games do this and whatnot. Do y'all want to keep with the unique day, yearly cycle, how many hours, or should we go to a traditional 7-day week, 24-hour
Traditional,
day?
please God, traditional.
I'm okay with.
I'm with Dan.
I can understand. I've asked a bunch of people. They're like, yeah, I like when companies do it, when they, change up the norm. But at the same time, watching this and keeping track and things like this, playing through it, it's definitely tedious.
Mm-hmm.
As the timekeeper, yes. Change it now.
You heard him. He's the timekeeper. So in every game from now on, he is the timekeeper.
As the current timekeeper.
No, no.
No, I believe the words
We
was
have
the
it. We
timekeeper.
have it on recording that you have committed to being the timekeeper.
Word
Okay.
magic sucks, doesn't it?
Back with the group now. Oh God.
No, Josh. No.
And the last thing that he requests, he whispers something to him. You get a set of plans. Amaran.
Ooh.
When
I'd
you
look
get
at it.
access to a demiplane, it's the plans to a clockwork castle.
Ooh.
Basically a construct factory.
Nice.
I hurry up and throw them in my bag of holding. After I realize what it is.
So which pup do you want, Sam?
Trying to consider options about it. My immediate thought is either the alpha or one of the two that stayed back watching. But out in the world, if they ever got out of like the little bubble that they were in, probably should take the runt, because he would either have the hardest time or not last as long as
Okay.
the others.
Here's the decision you have to make, Sam.
Uh-huh.
Are you collecting this menagerie and you just want a place where you can frolic with your beasts and enjoy their company? Or is this going to be a place, because technically you are considered friend to all beasts that reside within? You could train said beasts. And if you trained them, they could theoretically be bought out to do battle with you. So it's a matter of, do you want a zoo or do you want a or do you want a what's the I'm blanking on the name, but where you train animals.
Like a battle camp kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm
not saying you wouldn't enjoy their presence while you're there, but I'm just saying it depends on what your purpose is what I would use to define which one you want.
So
While I like the
basically-
idea of having just like a little fluffy zoo, there was something I talked to Derek about outside of game. So I'm thinking maybe I'll go the battle camp kind of route because I want to start collecting creatures and not necessarily employing people, but
She wants to fortify the temple with
temple.
the statues.
and have like a battle monastery kind of protection for that temple. So that way people can come and go and do what they will with the statues, but I want it to be protected so that way people can't come and do ill will.
Because of this, if you go the battle cap route, I will allow you free access to the Beastmaster archetype.
And see, I like the idea before you brought that, so now I'm kind of sold.
Speak to your mic.
I like that idea.
Giant Pokeball now.
So which one are you taking? This is important because each one does have a distinct personality. Because I had to figure you or Dan may try to capture one of these. So each one does have its distinct personalities.
Does Dan want to claim one? Because if he does, I will give him first choice.
Drake didn't say anything. He didn't take anything for the body or for the Leviathan eggs.
So it's your choice. What are you taking? Which one?
The one that seemed like the alpha was the one that had a different kind of glowiness to it.
Yes.
But if I take that one, I could screw up that whole structure because I don't know anything about those creatures and like their social structure.
Decide out of game, and we'll let the group know which one you
Yeah.
take.
I'll talk to you about that outside of game,
Okay.
and I'll make a choice.
All right. You're having a hard time. I know. I know.
Drake would say deal. There isn't enough room for anything else added to the Reaper body.
Okay.
Solon walks up. Arcane Eyes fully activated. Whichever Leviathan egg has the most arcane energy in it, Solon takes that one and puts it in Laura's realm.
Okay.
You get anything for that recent trades, he's taking in Leviathan egg.
No, that's fine. You take the one that's the most magically gifted, and with Leviathans, that does matter.
And I basically, I'm not installing, but I actually want the creature influx into my grove. So, because the Leviathans need to eat.
Well, Drake and Gideon and Xandric knows that there is a Leviathan in the River Styx that y'all barely escaped from. You threw up that wall of force and it slammed it into it, and it actually moved the wall of force, and you're like, it's time to go.
Yep, I remember.
So now there was two?
I don't know if you're claiming one or not. There's only 4 left.
If I'm able to, I will.
skills quick.
And there's enough, so
Yeah, there's enough. We can move past Leviathans, and you can all decide if you take one.
But when Solon gives me the papers and I realize what they are, I bow to him and say, "I appreciate this."
Solon nods.
All right. Anything else here, or we move on to the last square you want to investigate?
I don't have anything else here.
Okay. What's the last hex you want to investigate that way?
B25. It has Paylor's sword.
Yes. There you see an impossibly large blade. One that goes up into the heavens. Not really the heavens, but it goes up quite a bit in the sky where you can't even still see the hilt of it. It is massive. It could cleave a mountain in two. It radiates with potent, and I mean truly potent, divine energy. This is the blade that he used when he battled the Chained Oblivion. This holds and resonates with Paylor at his prime.
So, I'm scouring this thing. I'm looking for the taint.
Damn it, Sam.
The Crimson Emperor manipulated Paylor way back in the day. I'm looking to see if his sword bears any of that influence.
Because of its nature, it does take you a whole day to actually investigate this. And you do find in one of the crevices in one of the mass runes on the blade, you do find a piece of flesh that's almost like a sack and it pulsates. And it does resonate with Nyx, the Scarlet Emperor, whatever name you want to give him.
See, it looked like he's using it to regenerate.
It's theoretically possible. With what you know about the Scarlet Emperor and Nyx, it is theoretically possible, yes. It could also be creating something new, or it could be just perverting the power of this blade for a plan that he had before he was destroyed.
I say, for your second trial, remove this taint from this artifact.
And this...
And return the sword to Paylor. And tell him who gave it, and tell him it was from us. And by us, I mean not you.
You can't reply because he's in his brother's body, but you get the idea that he acknowledges this.
People, I only have 2 quests left for him here. You know, you're going to have to speak up if you want your input heard.
The request I have is to punch him in the balls.
I did that already, where I told him he had to beat his original body within 1 health.
As you know, because again, it took you a whole day to do this. As you all, you rest, you wake up the next day, and there is Vigir in Vigar's body. He drops his original body to your feet, and he says in a very gruff voice, "That was far more satisfying than I thought it would be. It's a shame that it happened to such a beautiful body, but it was kind of kinky.
Cathartic, almost.
Really was. It really was." And he looks up at the pulsating tumor. Now, how to figure out how to get this to Paylor. Now, you said that to remove the growth, right?
Correct. I warn him what it is, because there's trials and being kind of a dick, and then there's potentially endangering us all. I know the difference between the two.
Fair. Vigar and Vigir's body, his left eye barely opens up, and he looks at you, Solon, and says, "I hate you." And then closes his eye.
All he sees is someone with the biggest shit-eating grin on his face.
Yeah, you see Vigir look down at his body. We had a good heart-to-heart. I do feel like I've really set him on the correct path.
Considering when Archaon gets back, what he was going to do to him?
You've learned the errors of your way, haven't you? Fuck you. Yeah, and he just pats his head. All right. I was
Isn't
such
that kind of self-serving, I ask him?
It really is. All right.
It's going to fuck you. I mean, that would mean you're in his body.
All right. It's going to take him time to accomplish this. It is 10:33 my time. I believe 9:33 your old time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we can call it here, or we
Correct.
continue. It's all your all's choice. You're calling it then?
Yeah.
All right.
I thought you wanted that one last spot.
That's
That
what this was. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
You're also potentially returning Paylor with his legendary blade. So, yeah.
I mean,
All
he
right.
better. That's his trial.
Okay.
All right.
Bid you all a good night.
Good. Yeah, good session here. Some fun things happened. We'll pick up next week. Get the rest of more of the exploring done, if not all of it.
Yep.
And then y'all have. Let's see. How many days did you say it was going to take, Dan? Like 6 days to explore everything?
Yeah.
Yep.
So add 2 more days onto that because I had to spend a day scurrying the blade of Paylor.
Yeah.
And then you spent, we'll add another day for the Jagged Island, trying to craft and giving Araxis time to think about what she wants to ask Io.
That combined with the harvesting
Yep.
would equal another day. Yeah. Got it.
All right, so far this will be taking a total of 8 days, and you still have plenty of time to do whatever the fuck you all want. All right, so everybody have a good night, and I will see y'all next week.
All right, man.
Yeah.
See you.
All right,
See ya.
guys. Bye.
Later.